lead chairperson. You don't have to have a second.
Okay.
I know that much.
Okay.
So you officially call the meeting to order, go over the agenda, and go from there.
Okay, so the meeting is being recorded and it's live, so we got that done. Okay, Kendall, you want to do this? You're the vice president.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. The time is 6:08, and I'll turn it back over in the hands of the president so we can get started.
Thank you so much, Vice President Kendall Marshall. You are awesome. Thank you all for joining. Oh, wait. Y'all wait just a second. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry. So, okay, I'm trying to pull up the PowerPoint presentation, y'all. See it. So today I'm working with only one screen, so I don't have two screens, so it's going to be a little bit challenging, but if you all will bear with me, I am dropping some very important links in the chat for anybody if it's their first time. If somebody will volunteer for me, it doesn't matter who it is, if you can copy everything that I just dropped in the chat and drop it in the chat again in about 20 minutes, because if anybody logs on after I've dropped that, they won't see it, okay? It doesn't matter who it is, but everything that I just dropped in the chat, if you could drop that again in about 20 minutes, okay? Ooh, that is not what I was trying to do. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, and I guess y'all gonna have to see our faces over there too. I can't fix it. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Is Candace, are you on the call? So we're gonna go ahead and welcome our visitors and we'll come back to that. So do we have visitors? If it's your first time on a call, if you can introduce yourselves and maybe let us know how you connected or whatever you want to let us know. Y'all don't be bashful.
Well, I guess that means me. My name is Stephanie Wilburn, Tyler native, but just recently, well, not recently, but a year ago, came back home from Albuquerque, New Mexico. So I know Diane Bethany. And met you, Ms. Bates, just a week ago. And so I'm very excited about being a part of the organization because I'm a community activist from way back. So excited about connecting with you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Wilburn, for joining us. She was at the rally on Thursday, and I'm saying that because we have somebody else on the call. It's not her first time, but I still want her to say hello because she hadn't been on in a while. But Ms. Stephanie was at the voting rally at the Capitol on Thursday, and we met. And so I am super excited. As you all always know, I'm always recruiting for the Lord, and I'm always recruiting for DFW Metro. So, Miss Patricia, I know it's not your first time, but I want you to say hello. Patricia Murphy, I'm sorry.
Hello. Yes, this is not my first time, but it's been a while.
Awesome.
Do you want me to say anything?
Yes, yes. Tell us who you are and how we met. I mean, how we reconnected and met in person for the first time.
Oh, we met in person yesterday in Austin for the Texas Impact Rally and meeting with the different legislation staff.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you all, we broke out. So when we met together on, I'm going to go back to that because I don't want to get out of order of our agenda. So I'm going to go back to that. Okay. But thank you so much, Ms. Patricia, for joining us tonight. And again, it is not her first time. Actually, she was one of the members that helped us meet our expectations in order to become activated officially. So definitely, we appreciate you for reconnecting with us and joining tonight's call. Okay, let me see who else on here. Dr. Bostic has been here before, but it's been a while. If you want to say hello.
Yes, hello everyone, and I'm glad to be back. I was just busy with a lot of unexpected busyness, and some of it was expected, but still it was a little crippling. So I'm back and just still bouncing.
Awesome. Awesome.
Hello.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bostic. We really, really appreciate you joining us today. And so also while we're at it, let's see. Okay, I'm still trying to work my PowerPoint presentation. Awesome. So do we have any July? Thank you all to our visitors and those that hadn't been on it for a while and that you connected again. Yes, ma'am. I don't know if I can get the link. I'm going to send you the, oh, okay. Let me see. Let me see if I can figure that out. Okay. Okay. All right. I know. Yeah. I got you. Let me figure out how to send it to you. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. All right. You all give me 1 second. Does anybody have the link?
I just put it in the chat, Crystal.
You did. Thank you. Thank you so much. And if you all would bear with me, Candace she's doing her best. So please give me a second. You are awesome. And I'm so proud that she was even willing to do this for us. So I want to definitely do what I can to help make sure. Okay. And then I'm excited about her presentation tonight. I gotta, there she go. Thank you so much, Lexi. Y'all are awesome. See, we got teamwork going on. That's the only way I'll be able to do this. Okay. So, so do we have July birthdays and anniversaries?
Yes, Dr. Bostic's a July baby.
Okay, awesome. Happy birthday. We have any more July birthdays or
Leah
anniversaries?
Montez is a July baby.
Yes, July 23rd.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So an anniversary.
All right.
Yes, our anniversary was
Yes.
last month, June 29th,
Yeah,
25
the end
years.
of June. Yeah.
Awesome. So we got an anniversary with the Montezes, Miss Leah and Antonio. And then we also have a birthday, Miss Leah. And
Yeah.
then Dr. Bostic. Anybody else? Any more birthdays or anniversaries? Okay. Awesome. Happy birthday and happy anniversary.
Yes.
Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay.
Yes. We spend the July all the way to the end of August till school starts at the Montezes celebrating.
Birthdays.
The kids are young.
Oh, yes. Birthdays deserve a month-long
Fun times. Yep. They all grown
Abs-
now, but we used to have a good time.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay, so let me go up here. I told you all, technology will cripple you sometimes. I'm so used to using my double screen. So it's like not having that, I'm not at my office to be able to do that. I can't. So let me introduce our speaker for this evening. And Candace, if you'll take like 30 seconds, because Candace, y'all, is a worker bee and she's all over the place. So I know I'm going to miss something. But if you take at least 10 seconds or 20 seconds of your time to tell some of your long, you know, all of that stuff. But she is a proud member of Delta. She's a Delta. She's also a part of the Panhellenic Council. And also I met Candace through Our Vote, Our Voice, which Our Vote, Our Voice is a nonpartisan Get Out the Vote coalition. And she and I met and worked together in that space as well. And go ahead, Candace. So I'm gonna turn it over to Candace so she can share all of that information and we can get started. And
Good
she's our
evening.
Black History Moment presenter tonight. And she bravely volunteered. And from me and the rest of our organization, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome, and good evening to everyone. And please forgive me for my tardiness. I have so much going on you wouldn't even believe. But
And that's what I told them. I said, Candace is doing the best she can to get on here, and I'm going to help her, and she's doing just fine. Thank you.
No problem, Soror, no problem.
Oh, well, good evening, Soror. Good to hear you on here. My name is Candace Wicks, and I'm a born and raised Dallasite from Dallas, graduated from Bishop Dunn High School. I have my master's degree from Texas Women's University, my bachelor's from Houston-Tillotson College. And the person that and I'm also a board member for Remembering Black Dallas, which used to be Black Dallas Remembered. But I'm back on that board as my parents both were members, and my father served as president after the term of Dr. Mamie McKnight. So I have a love and a passion for history, especially of Black people in Dallas. And the person that I'm going to share information on with you tonight is my former pastor, my deceased pastor, Dr. H. Rhett James. And he baptized me and blessed me as a baby in 1966. And he was just an intricate part of my life all the way until I went to college. But let me just share with you a little bit about him. And I don't think that he's really given his just due. And once I read some of his bio to you, you will see the reason why I believe he needs to be highlighted even more. Okay, go back to the beginning. Thank you. Dr. H. Rhett James, an African-American pastor, college professor, and Dallas civic leader, was the son of Samuel Horace and Tanny Etta James. He was born in Baltimore, Maryland on December the 1st, 1928. And as the son of a Baptist minister, James experienced the life of a nomad during his early childhood. After leaving Baltimore, the James family made stops in Topeka, Kansas, and Nashville, Tennessee, before finally arriving in San Antonio, Texas in 1940. After graduation from Phyllis Wheatley High School in San Antonio, James attended Virginia Union University in Richmond, where he received a bachelor's degree in history and sociology in 1950. James returned to San Antonio for 5 years, where he taught elementary school, as well as at San Antonio Junior College. He also became the first African-American graduate student of Our Lady of the Lake College, where he received his master's degree in education. Somebody is talking, please. Thank you. He also became the first African-American graduate student of Our Lady of the Lake College, where he received his master's degree in education. In 1955, James returned to Virginia Union University to pursue his Master's of Divinity degree, which he achieved in 1958. He also served as pastor of Moore Street Baptist Church in Richmond, Virginia. In 1958, James moved to Dallas to become the head pastor of New Hope Baptist Church, a religious institution of great renown within Dallas's African-American community. And New Hope Baptist Church is the oldest African-American witness in Dallas, Texas, founded by free slaves. And that is our distinction. There are some other churches that say that they were founded before us, but they were founded by with the help of Anglos for Blacks, but we were founded by slaves. Freed slaves. James served as pastor of New Hope Baptist Church until his retirement in 1986. His time as pastor was marked by prosperity and improvement as he moved the church from downtown Dallas to a $500,000 facility at 5002 South Central Expressway in 1968, where we presently are. And he was a member. Well, he established the Men's Progressive League, the Women's Progressive Club, and the Commission on Youth. James was also credited with improving the teaching and worship programs and instituting budget reforms at our church. Although fully committed to his pastor's duties, James continued to pursue education as well. Immediately upon arriving in Dallas, he enrolled in the Graduate School of Theology at Texas Christian University in Fort Worth, Texas. In 1961, he became the first African American to receive a Master's of Theology from TCU. After graduation, he worked as secretary of a committee that was aimed to move Bishop College from Marshall, Texas to Dallas, which was successfully completed in 1961. James taught at Bishop College from 1961 until its closing in 1981, serving as Associate Professor of History and Social Sciences. James was also in charge of Bishop's federal grant programs, Director of Church Relations, and Director of Continuing Education. Just as Bishop College was closing, James was finishing a PhD in history at the University of Texas at Arlington. After receiving his doctorate degree in 1981, Dr. James began teaching history at UTA and became the first African-American professor at the institution. James also taught at Mountain View Community College and Austin College in Sherman during his teaching career. Also, James spent a great deal of time in higher education, where he also worked closely with the Dallas Independent School District. Give me a second, please. Okay. After James spent a great deal of time in higher education, he also worked closely with the Dallas Independent School District, serving as a staffing specialist and teacher recruiter from 1987 to 1994. He was also assistant principal of Arthur Kramer Elementary in 1984. Although his educational commitments and pastor's duties would have been enough for many, James managed to carve out a notable civic and political legacy as well. When he arrived in Dallas in 1958, he served as the head of the educational committee for the Dallas chapter of the NAACP. He served as president of the Dallas NAACP in 1962. James also made an unsuccessful run for Dallas School Board in 1959, just as his predecessor at New Hope Baptist Church, Reverend Maynard H. Jackson Sr. had done. Also following the Jackson's footsteps, James fought the poll tax and the white Democratic Party in an effort to give African Americans in Dallas a voice at the polls. See election laws. In addition to serving on the United Way Board for 9 years, James was also the first African American to serve as president of the Dallas County Community Action Committee. He gained some notoriety in 1961 for his picketing of H.L. Green department store, as well as his effort to bring Martin Luther King Jr. to Dallas in 1968. And let me say, people do not want to give him credit for bringing Martin Luther King to Dallas, but it was Dr. H. Rhett James, as you see on this picture here. That was the African-American pastor that was primarily responsible for bringing Martin Luther King to Dallas. And then after he brought King to get to Dallas, as we know, our people will start jumping on the bandwagon. But this is a conversation that I did have with Dr. James. And yes, he had a lot of prominent Black ministers here in Dallas come to him by way of the White Citizens Council. And they were trying to discourage Dr. James from bringing Dr. Martin Luther King to the city. But obviously, you see, he did not listen to them. Let me continue. James was also involved on the state and national level, especially during the Kennedy and Johnson administrations. In 1960, James was an executive member of the Dallas John F. Kennedy Election Committee. And in 1991, he was the Dallas head of the John Connally gubernatorial campaign, a job offer that Lyndon Baines Johnson personally asked James to take. And you did see the previous picture with President Johnson. In 1963, James traveled to the White House to attend the Emancipation Proclamation Centennial Celebration. And during Lyndon Johnson's 1964 presidential campaign, he was the assistant director of the State Re-election Committee. In 1965, James was largely responsible for bringing LBJ's War on Poverty program to Dallas. Navigating local resistance to federal funding, James became the first African-American president of the War on Poverty office. James also served as president of the Opportunities Industrialization Center in Dallas from 1976 to 1983. His book, Audacity to Survive, was published in 1994. James married his wife, Leora, on April the 15th, 1949. Together, they had one daughter and three sons. Red and Leora divorced on November 7th, 1991. He died in Dallas on March 14th, 2004, leaving behind an impressive legacy that spanned the political, educational, and religious realms. And all of this was taken from the Handbook of Texas. And that is tonight's historical focus on Dr. Red James, former pastor of New Hope Baptist Church.
Thank you so much.
And former president of the Dallas NAACP.
Awesome. You all give Candace a hand.
Thank you so much, Sora. You really put a lot into that. That was very informative. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Now we'll take time for one question if anybody has a burning question that they want to ask or comment. Okay. So thank you again so much for Candace for being our brave Black History Moment presenter. And if this is your first time, we open our platform and invite anybody who is willing and interested in doing our presentation. Just let me know. It's 5 minutes, and so you don't have to have a PowerPoint presentation if you don't want to, but definitely you can. So if you're willing and want to volunteer yourself for next month, go ahead and drop that in the chat. And Paige will get your information so we can make sure that you're plugged in for our upcoming next month. So before she started, we did already do our visitors, but there are two people. We did our first time people on the call. So Toria, I want you to say hello. You didn't say anything earlier, and I need you to say hello as well.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing tonight?
So you want to say anything else, Toria?
Oh, goodness.
Okay, I won't put you on the spot.
I'm excited about being here. Yes, thank you so much.
You are welcome, Toria. So Toria is from East Texas. She's from Longview as well. And she saw some of my posts and coverage of the rallies, and she reached out to me yesterday. So I talked to her when I was on my way to Houston, and she's on the call today. So we thank you so much for tuning in. And then Laura, can you say hello and introduce yourself as well? This is your first meeting.
Hi, my name is Laura. It is my first meeting, and I'm very excited to get to know all of you.
You want to tell them how we connected, Laura?
Yeah, so I worked for T-Mobile, and I met Minister Crystal randomly. She was just there trying to get her phone repaired, and we striked up a conversation, and then it kind of led to us connecting, and now here we are.
So Laura came through the door, you all, a worker bee. Like literally the next day, she was helping us take care of some stuff with the officers. She was taking care of that. Laura also connected with our communications team and had that meeting, I think last Friday. So literally, I don't even know if it's been a week yet, but Laura came through the door with feet on the ground. So we are super excited to have you a part of our team. Super duper excited.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we did our guest and we also did our July celebrations. Did I miss anybody that's on the call for the first time? I don't think so, but you all stop me if so. But I want to give just some general updates real quick. As you all know, there is a lot going on across the nation. And matter of fact, while I give that update, I am going to show my screen while I get that update so we can save time. Yeah, I'm technically challenged over here. So I'm going to show you all a couple of pictures. As you all know, our voting rights have been under attack. And not only in Texas, but throughout the nation. And so there have been various efforts to stand against that attack and to protect our voting rights. So a couple of weeks ago, I guess 3 or 4 weeks ago, me and my mother were able to participate in the 60th Freedom Riders anniversary tour. And we met with people from all over the nation, basically, I mean, literally all over the nation. They took maybe 7 or 8 buses just from this area, from the Dallas area, from Texas area. And we caravanned and we stopped in a different state every single day. And so, and me and my mother, we actually drove. So they started out in New Orleans, and then they went to Nashville, Tennessee, Jackson, Mississippi, Mobile, Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia, Columbia, South Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, Charlottesville, Charleston, I'm sorry, and Raleigh, North Carolina. And then we went to DC. So I was trying to remember all the cities, so I apologize. So that was a voting rights rally and initiative presented by Black Voters Matter, which we partner with them as well. So on Friday of last week, there was a Justice in Prayer rally at the state capitol in Texas, here in Texas. So that's how I met Miss Stephanie Wilburn. She was at that particular rally. And so she participated in that, and that's how we were able to connect. There's a picture of Miss Wilburn. And so we met at that particular rally. There were buses that literally left from all across the state of Texas, even out of East Texas, out of Fort Worth, I mean, just everywhere. And those buses were free, and everybody traveled down there. There was a very, very large crowd and interfaith people from different backgrounds and faith backgrounds that were there as well. So on Monday, they had another rally, but they had a training that started on Sunday. So Minister Kendall, Vice President Kendall, and Dr. Henderson, and also Miss Patricia Murphy, they were at that particular rally in Austin. And so we met there, and just so happens in this particular room, the picture that you're looking at, we're at First United Methodist Church of Austin. And so they had a training on Sunday. So we all met for training and dinner on Sunday, but they had different rooms the next day divided up. And that's me with President Bledsoe. But they had signs on the wall that basically allow people to connect with their Senate district. And then we did a little bit of a training, and then we had a spokesperson, because later on that afternoon, we were going to go to each one of the senators' offices. And so just so happens, Miss Patricia Murphy and I ended up in the same group. And literally, I think there were probably 20 or 25 different groups. And she and I ended up in the same group. And so we met at the church. We all met and greeted one another, what have you. We had lunch, we did the rally, and then that afternoon, like I told you, we went to those various offices. Well, while I was standing in the hall, me and Patricia got to talking, and it was like, it dawned on me. She was like, oh, I think I I joined that particular branch, and I said, well, tell me your last name again. And so you all, she actually had been on one of our calls and had supported our branch. So that was exciting to actually get to meet her in person. Once she said her first and last name, I put two and two together and realized she had indeed been to one of our meetings in the past. Well, not just one of our meetings, she's been to a couple of our meetings in the past. So I'm going to start right there. Kendall and Dr. Henderson, or Ms. Wilburn or Ms. Murphy, anybody want to give maybe a 30-second anything comments that you have about the rallies that we just had?
Crystal, I'll do just a few comments. This was my first rally attending, and just sitting there in the room and listening to some of our panel discussions that we were having by our guests, and the history that was actually shared there at that place at Texas Impact. We as a people, we have a lot of work to do, and there's a fight that we've got to take, to those we have elected as representatives, to let them know that, even though we're not able sometimes to change their mind, but we're not going to change our mind about the position that we're taking when it comes to voters' rights. And when it comes not only to voters' rights, but when it comes to injustice, or when it comes to equality for all. So I just encourage everyone that if you ever get an opportunity to attend a rally, please do so. It changes your perspective when it comes to the work is at hand, and it's all hands in. Recall that I think it was the Apostle Paul says that some reap where they sow not, and some, there's some that sow, and then there's some that reap where they're sow not. And so we're actually reaping a lot of the seeds that our people like Dr. Martin Luther King and others who were on the forefront, even tonight when our guests, our individuals sharing the history moment, we're reaping some of those seeds that they have already sown for us. And we need to sow seeds too as well for the next generation. So that's my 30 seconds, or was it more like a minute? But it was definitely exciting. And I encourage each of you on the call tonight to, if you get the opportunity, please attend a rally.
Thank you so much, Vice President Kendall. Dr. Henderson?
Oh, well, I was very moved by the rally. I've gone to rallies for quite a few years now. I was really moved that there were so many people of like minds that was there to do good and prosperous work for the good of all. And I was really touched by that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Henderson. I'm glad that you were able to join us, and Vice President Kendall Marshall. Ms. Murphy, would you like to share any perspectives or comments from the meeting, the rally?
Well, I second their comments because it was very inspirational, very moving. I think beyond just being a rally, though, that the fact that it was very educational also, because I've been to lots of rallies along the way since the 70s when my brother was in Vietnam, and some are just rallies, and this one was very educational. And the fact that you got then to go on to talk to your representatives, well, the staff people from your representatives, made it really like something beyond just hearing empowerment. You actually got to do the empowering.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And Ms. Wilburn, would you like to share?
Definitely, it was a powerful experience. I am a retired educator, and I was the sponsor of the Black Student Union for my students for Albuquerque Public Schools for many years. So I've been socially, I've been supportive of social justice for some time. What I wanted to say is that not only did we hear about history, but we are actually a part of that history right now. The task ahead is, this is a serious serious situation that we're in. And I encourage all of you to continue to work, continue to fight, because if you're not part of the solution, that makes you part of the problem. And that's why I'm excited about working with this organization here now that I've come back home, and I can't wait. I'm excited about doing what needs to be done.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. And later on in the meeting, I am going to give you all some information because there are a couple of more marches and rallies coming up, and I want to make sure you all have that information. One thing that happened on Thursday, as I said, it was Justice and Prayer Rally. So in the I guess you call that the rotunda. What do you call the area in the center of the Capitol? You all, after we had gone to the different representatives' offices, when we came out just hearing people singing, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine." And when I tell you that phone of mine, oh, I will be back up there, Lord, to see you. I could not get my phone to work to get it, but someone told me, I think somebody from Friendship West recorded it. I would go to their social media site and see if I could share it. But they gathered, I mean, it was hundreds of people in this area, the Rotunda area, and they were singing "This Little Light of Mine, I'm gonna let it shine." And it just sent chills over me because you could hear it all throughout the Capitol, even before you got there. And I've been there many of times, and I have never experienced anything like that. And not only that, like Ms. Patricia said, we did it a million times, but every time it's always different. Even on Thursday, when we went to the different representatives' offices, the group that I went with was a group of ministers and clergy. And after we talked to the staff, the pastor said, "Well, thank you for listening to us. Let's join hands and we're going to have a word of prayer." And it was just, and the staff people, the clergy, we prayed with the staff before we left out of there. And it was just a remarkable experience. And then in this particular setting, just like in DC, when we were in DC, we met people from all over the nation, meeting so many different people from all over the state. And as Ms. Wilburn said, that are about the business of fighting. And if you're not a part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And so you all gathered here today, you all have committed to being a part of the solution. And I am eternally grateful for each and every one of you. And I thank you for everything that you're doing, because even if you can't make it to the rally, as I told someone before, even if you share a post, share some information, share a flyer, text some information, invite somebody to one of our meetings, add somebody to our pages. Anything you do counts. You may not be able to go to the rally, but you may be able to volunteer for a phone bank or text bank. Sister Jackie is always sharing and reminding us to become election workers. It's so many different areas where you can get involved in this fight. And I need everybody that is connected here to be involved in some shape, form, or fashion. And so enough of that. Again, thank you. And I appreciate all of you all that allowed me to put you on the spot and share with us. Ms. Shanidra, thank you so much for joining. She also this is her first time. We introduced first time member visitors earlier, members, what I say. She connected with us through the Facebook page, and I believe she was on the meeting, the education meeting on Sunday. So thank you so much for joining us on today.
No problem. So glad to be here.
Thank you. And it's going to take me a second to do this if you want to say hello or anything else, Ms. Shanidra.
All right. Well, my name is Shanidra Red. And again, I'm just glad to join in on the conversation and be able to, do whatever I can to help the cause. I am an educator. I'm an educator in Garland ISD, but previously I was an educator in Louisville ISD. So even though, and this is what I said on the education call, even though I might not be doing education or, be in a position of, I'm a counselor or be in the classroom in Louisville ISD, if I can still be in the community and work in the community, that's my goal. So.
Awesome, Shanedra. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And again, thank you to everybody that tuned in for the education meeting on Sunday. Again, thank you, Paige, for all that you do. Also, for those that connected with our communications team meeting that was on Friday, and those that tuned in for the political action meeting as well. We are super excited and glad that you all were able to tune in for that. So we're going to start now with our updates. Is Judge Saunders on the call? Judge Saunders is leading our legal redress team. They have an upcoming meeting on August the 10th. That information was in our beautiful newsletter. So if you didn't get it, tune into that. And if you know, even if it's not a particular team that you want to get involved in, if you know somebody else that is interested, please share that information with them so they can tune in. All that information is in the newsletter. And as I give these updates, if there's anything that sparks your interest, please drop it in the chat. I have my officers and other members that are watching the chat, because because we are a new organization and branch. And so we are trying to make sure we get the communications and stuff worked out, that everybody's getting the information as they should. And so help us out by making sure to get that information to them. Everything is in our newsletters. Let me see. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So that information will be in the chat. So if anybody wants to get involved with our legal redress team, share that information in the chat. I think our treasurer, Monica Miller, is traveling. She helped initiate and activate our Black Business Friday, where we highlight Black businesses in the area and beyond. They don't have to be in our area, but any minority business that you want to highlight on Friday, we ask that you post it in the group and on your page and anywhere else on social media that you would like to, and use hashtag Black Business Friday and hashtag DFW Metro NAACP. That allows us to help draw traffic and other people to those businesses and try to help fill in the economic gap that usually exist in our communities. Also, Ms. Jonas, I'm going to hand it over to you at this time. You're muted, Ms. Jonas.
Sorry about that, you guys. Excuse me. Quick update for the Political Action Committee. We talked about looking for events to set up voter registration and membership drive. And one of the things we talked about was looking for different churches who have fall festivals and back to school events. On Sunday, when I got on the educational committee, that's one of the first things we talk about is Westside having an event on August 8th, Westside Baptist Church in Louisville. And I think we're going to talk more about that, but an opportunity for us to participate with the back to school drive and to see if we could set up voter registration there. St. Anne's Catholic Church, they have a fall festival every year that's a pretty big deal. Some people say it's better than the state fair. And one of our members, Gloria, is going to check and see if we could set up voter registration there. And we just talked about collectively everybody getting out and trying to identify places that we can, and then ask the question where we could set up, voter registration and membership drives in the community. And especially look for events. A couple of people mentioned, like, if fraternities and sororities are having different events, could we do it there? Set up something, and again, churches and back to school, a lot of events take place in the August, September timeframe. So we talked about that. And that was it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
And Ms. Janice, I have the email addresses for the two ladies at the, I call it Vista Ridge. I can't think of what it is, but Vista Ridge and Grapevine Mills. Vista Ridge said that as long as it's nonpartisan, we can do it. And I'm sure Grapevine has the same response.
Oh, that's gonna be
Okay,
beautiful.
that's great.
That is. And so basically what she's explaining, we'll do at those different locations, kind of like what we did for Juneteenth. We'll have various opportunities, and we need everybody on the meeting today to look out for that, because we'll need volunteers for that. We'll set up a booth and stuff like we did during the Juneteenth, and we'll do voter registration and membership drives. So we need you all to be looking forward to that, because that'll be our opportunity to meet one another and fellowship as we also get out and do the work, because 2022 will be here before we know it. And if you don't like what the governor's doing, you help us get out and vote so we can vote them out. If you don't like what the senators that represent the state of Texas are doing, that you help us register people so we can get them out. Whatever it is, getting people registered to vote starting today, starting yesterday, is how we're going to have to do it, by registering people to vote and getting them out there. Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Jonas, for volunteering to give our update, and keep your eye out in the newsletter and on Facebook. There is information about when our meetings are. Now, if you want to connect with any of the teams that I have mentioned in the chat, I just dropped that information. It is very, very important that everybody on the call today is connected with at least one or two of those GroupMe chats, because if there's something urgent that I need to get to you quickly, that's how we communicate. That's one of our main source of communications is the GroupMe chat. So look in that chat, and all you got to do is click the link. There's a political action link down there. There's one for the education team, and there's one for the economic development team. If there is not a link for that team, we're going to share the email. If somebody can drop our email in the chat, dfwmetro2020@gmail. Email us, and in the subject area, put the team, or let me know what team you want to connect with, and I'll connect you, because some of them are just forming, so they don't have GroupMe chats yet. Okay, Ms. Page, is on you.
Crystal, can I ask you one quick question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Was Gloria was going to check with St. Anne's too, right? Somebody just asked me that. No? Who was going to check with St. Anne's? I thought
that was Carla.
Carla. Okay. Sorry about that. Carla.
Yeah, that's right.
What's Carla's last name? I'll put it in the chat.
What is her last name? Carla.
I think it's Collier or something like that.
Yes, I think that's it.
Okay.
So she will, yes, she was with St. Anne's. And y'all, that St. Anne's Carnival.
Yes, she's a member, that's right.
It's the first week of September. And it really is an awesome carnival. It's so much for the whole entire family to do. It is right over at Capel at St. Anne's Catholic Cathedral. Okay, Paige.
Hi, everybody. Just giving a really quick update for the Education Committee. It was really our second official meeting, and we're really just now coming together, getting people involved. And so if you think that it might be something that you're interested in, please just reach out to me. We are bringing our ideas to the table. Last meeting, I told everybody I'm the committee chair. However, I am not the committee. And so we really collectively will make that committee. Next meeting, we're hoping to have Dr. Culpepper, who is over the Garland Education Committee, which has been established for 25 years, come and speak to us about what it is that their committee has done and some of the things that they have been able to achieve. And so if you think that you might be interested, that would be a really great meeting for you to show up for. It will be on August 15th at 6:30. Our meetings will be every third Sunday at 6:30 p.m. They really are fun. Everyone gets an opportunity to kind of talk and speak. A lot of times when we are invited to different meetings or committees, people kind of talk at us. So if you really are passionate about education and really moving the needle on things that are important to our students of color, I think that this would be a great committee for you. Each meeting, we've been trying to take just small bites and little homework assignments. And our small bite for this month is we are going to show up. Westside Baptist Social Justice team is actually putting on an amazing back to school event. I think it's amazing because a lot of times, sometimes back to school events can get very cookie cutter. And I just thought this one was really great because they are providing things that I think are really essential to the community, i.e. haircuts. You can bring your child to get their hair braided. I believe you have to make an appointment. It's going to be on August 8th from 1 to 5 p.m. And Miss Jackie, if you want to chime in and say anything where you think I might have missed something, you can. So did I miss anything or did I get everything for you?
I'm going to actually allow her, I have a flyer up for her, and so she's going to give us more details a little later on in the meeting. So thank you so much.
Like I had the flyer and I was like, there was no way to drop it in the chat. But you know, for us, that's really, we have community partners. Like we partner with CAP, which is Concerned Citizens African American Parents. And really, I feel like through these partnerships, we really can get our name out there as NAACP and also show people that we care about our community. You know, there's a saying that people don't care what you know until they know that you care. And so that's what we want. We want to have a presence in our community and people know that we care about what is happening to people of color, students of color. And so that is our committee. I would love to have you guys on the committee. It is newly forming, so it's a perfect time for you to jump in. You know, when I did PTA, I always tell people, I promise you there is no drama. There is no drama. Everyone is so lovely and so experienced. And I really feel like everyone who has joined the committee so far has something to bring.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paige. We appreciate you. You're doing an amazing job. Not only Paige, but everybody that's doing anything. I appreciate you all putting up with me. I call, I text, I wear the devil out of all of y'all. And Kendall, did I see you smile over there? So yes, thank you. So yes, I appreciate each and every one of you all for putting up with me and everything. So Kendall, it's your turn now. So you gotta turn the camera back on. Okay. Thank you again, Paige, for that update. You did a great job. Thank you so much.
Well, my update is on the Economic Committee, and I just want to state that if any of you are interested in joining that committee, you know, please drop your name in the chat and your email address so I can get in contact with you. I met with Monica Miller to talk about the Economic Committee and also potential events that we want to definitely put on. One is dealing with credit repair. That's something that sometimes we all deal with or may have those marks on our credits, and we need to know on our credit reports, and we need to know how to get rid of those things. We have a person, his name is Josh Grayson, that's going to come in and to maybe lecture us or speak to us concerning credit repair. Also, we're looking at bringing in the SBA, the president of the SBA for Dallas and Fort Worth, to actually come in and talk with us about the programs that SBA has in place. If any of you ever thought about owning your own franchise or becoming a part of a franchise, SBA does have a program where they have a list of franchises that you can actually buy into, and actually they will give you the money to buy into those and to come under their mentorship program too as well. So there's a lot of money that we that's out there for small businesses and for us to reach out there and grab. But you know, we have to kind of have all our ducks in a row. And so we want to bring some individuals in that help coach us to get everything taken care of and in order so we can apply for some of this grant money that's out there for small businesses. That's all I had, Crystal.
Okay, thank you, Vice President Kendall Marshall. That was wonderful. I appreciate you and Monica taking on that task. And again, as he stated, share your information in the chat, but there is a link for the Economic Opportunity Team. Click on that link so you'll be connected with the GroupMe chat so we can have some direct interaction with you and we can get you involved in that work for that particular team as well. Also, many of you, when we first started, thank you again, Kendall, for that update. Last year, when we started our branch and started mobilizing and things, a lot of people were angry and outraged at the things that we saw with Ahmaud Arbery, with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and the list goes on, even before the Botham Jean, just so many different things. And we had a couple of speakers. People had expressed their interest in dealing with and talking about and trying to figure out ways that we can locally have an impact on racial healing and diversity, that we could make a difference in our own communities where we work and our children go to school and where we live. And so we invited a couple of speakers. Dr. Atchison of Westside, he presented and shared with us as one of our speakers. Also, Pastor George Mason also shared with us from the Wilshire Baptist Church in Dallas. Those were some wonderful, wonderful speakers on these particular topics. So Rabbi Nancy Caston and I meet together in a space weekly with some other clergy throughout the state of Texas. And she and I had been talking. She contacted me about something she was thinking about, and I told her what we had been trying to do. So we are in the process of forming a group to particularly address and deal with that particular topic. So we need all hands on deck to participate in that. So if you could and would share information in the chat, put your name in the chat, or send me a text message to let me know that you would help us and be a part of that conversation. We will have a conversation and have a Zoom meeting in August. That information will be in the newsletter, so we want you to start looking out for that. But I need as many of you as possible to let me know that you'll be able to be a part of that conversation with Rabbi Nancy Caston. She is awesome, and I look forward to you all meeting her as well. And you know how I told you all, I ended up in that group for my Senate district with Patricia Murphy, where there were some other people there from the Jewish community. And we were just chit-chatting, and lo and behold, they knew Nancy. And I said, I know Nancy too. Nancy is my friend. So so that was exciting. So she's looking forward to sharing with us as well. And we're looking for our Juneteenth. I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to stop right there, and I'll show you all the flyer later. But Miss Jackie, can you go ahead and give us an update for the Black History Moment? The back to school fair at Westside. I'm sorry.
Yes. Thank you so much. I'm the social justice minister lead at Westside Baptist Church, and we have partnered up with CAP, Concerned Citizens and African American Parents, and also NAACP. For August, Sunday, August 8th from 1 to 5 is going to be the back to school fair. With CAP, we have adopted several of the elementary middle schools here in Louisville. And I would say most of them are less than a 3-mile radius from Westside Baptist Church, and they really do need our help, and we help with them year round. So this back to school fair is for them, but not exclusively. The goal is to give out 500 backpacks, and I believe that we will exceed that, but that is the goal that we have set. Also, we want to make it a fun event and not shame anybody for coming that needs. They do not have to sign up, just have to show up, and we will give out as your first come, first serve. We also will have wanted to be also the Louisville Fire Department will be there. The Louisville Police Department will be there with their trucks, with their cars. I have given instructions to the police department, do not open the back doors. If you can't let the kids take a picture in the front seat, then do not open the doors at all. Just have a conversation. I have asked both captains if they could send out people of color, so our children will have someone that looks like them. Also, I'm grateful that the NAACP will be there to do the voter registration and to be seen, so people in the area and our church members will see that the NAACP has been activated as well. And also CAP will be there. And it's a resource. It's for the parents to understand that there are resources out here for them. There will be a organization that will be there that offer free counseling for our young students. So it's going to be a wonderful thing. Be the Match is going to be there, and we're going to do a donor drive. That is close to my heart. My middle daughter had to have a bone marrow transplant, and blessedly, my oldest daughter was 100% match. Doing the research on that, finding out that African Americans, people of color, we don't have enough donors. So this is a great opportunity, and our goal is to get 500 donors to participate in that. And not only that day, it will continue on for the month of August. We have a Q code that anybody that's there, they can scan the Q code and send for a kit to be delivered to their home. All they have to do is swab, put it back in the envelope, and send it in. So it's a great opportunity. And I thank you so much, Crystal, for letting me jump on. I just got a call, and I have donations that are being delivered to my garage right now. If you have people that want to do a donation, there is a link. They can donate anytime. You guys can pick it up and bring it to Westside at any time. Contact me. I'll be more than happy to meet you up there. We do have a room to put all the supplies in. And then there's a link that I will share on social media, and I'll send it to you as well, Crystal, that we can share amongst the NAACP. The link, if someone wants to donate money, or if they want to donate, they want to drop off at Westside to me anytime on the given Sundays. I will be there from 10 to 2 on Sundays for the public to come in and drop off to me. So that is what I have there. I am very excited that we're working together and that we're going to help our babies and our families that need us. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Jackie. We appreciate every opportunity that you present to us to work with your social justice ministry at Westside. We appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to it. So I did just drop the link up for the flyer in the chat, but I am asking, I need at least 10, no less than 10 to volunteer, because even if you can't do voter registration, DFW Metro NAACP is going to get in where they fit in, and we'll volunteer and do something else. So I need at least 10 to comment now and commit to meet us at Westside on the 8th.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
One more other thing. We are offering free haircuts for the young boys that are coming in. I'm still looking for more barbers. And also, as Ms. Page mentioned, we did do a sign up for those particular schools. And by this being the first one we did a sign up that offered to those schools that we know the parents need help with the little girls as far as braiding hair. And I am still looking for braiders. They do not have to be licensed. They just have to be able to braid and have a heart to serve. So those things are going to be taking place as well. And as we learn, we will be bigger and better next year.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And you all, I'm waiting for names to start dropping in the chat. I need at least 10 of us to show up and be available to volunteer at Westside on the 8th. Okay. So please let us know if you'll be able to join me and others out there. And I'll see about if we can get some shirts before then as well. So please let me know if you can join us for that. Thank you so much, Miss Jackie.
Oh, one more thing, Crystal, just really quick.
You're fine.
when Prairie View and Grambling plays against each other in, I believe it's October, at the Cotton Bowl, we always do, Prairie View always comes, the band comes, and we have this big hallelujah, and it's wonderful. This year, I am over the committee to get all the HBCs to come and present at tables to give out literature about their school. And I'm also wanting to get the Divine Nine to come in and represent your sorority and your fraternity. So be looking out for that stuff, that will come out, and I want everyone to be a part of this. So be looking out for that information as well. So thank you so much for let me take it up to all your time. I have to jump off, but love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We really appreciate you bunches. Okay, so next we have okay. Okay, wait. Okay, Juneteenth planning team. You all, we're going to speed up because I probably have a couple of minutes and I want to make sure to respect everybody's time. We went for Juneteenth this year. We set up a table we were a vendor at the Juneteenth celebration that was at Music City Mall in Louisville. And so we want to start now planning for next year. So if you volunteered or if you participated on the planning team, drop your information in the chat if you want to reconnect again. And if anybody did not and you want or desire to be a part of that planning team, please drop that information in the chat so we can connect you so we can start planning for that as well. We set up a table, we did voter registration, and we also did membership drives. So definitely put your information in the chat or send an email to dfwmetro2020@gmail. I prefer that you put your information in the chat so you won't forget. And if anybody on the call or if you know anybody that is in the health field, we are looking for somebody to help us mobilize our health and wellness team. So please send them my way or let me know that you're interested. Even if you don't want to lead that particular committee and just want to help get it organized, I definitely invite you to do that. So that was all of our updates. So before we go on, because we're going to wrap this up very quick, does anybody have any questions? Because we did kind of rush through that. Anybody have any questions or comments? And again, thank you to everybody that showed up for the various team meetings this month. I am super duper proud of each and every one of you. So with our announcements, there's a mobile food drive. I'll make sure to drop this link on the Facebook page, but it has been added to our newsletter. Did everybody get the newsletter? If you didn't get it, look in your spam folder. If you are new and this is your first time and you hadn't had an opportunity to get connected, make mention in the chat and I'll send you a link to this month's newsletter so you can see it because it already went out. So I want to make sure you get it. Also, New Beginnings Church is doing a food drive every month as well. So that was their information. I'll make sure to drop that information on the chat. In the Facebook page as well. And this is the flyer that Miss Jackie just shared for Westside's back to school drive and fair that they have coming up. So these are some very, very, very important announcements that I need you all. Do you remember I told you all that there were some rallies coming up. I may need to move this to the bottom. Please make note of, y'all get your camera out and take a picture of this information. Reverend William Barber is hosting the Poor People's Campaign is having a march next week. You all take your phones out because they're just started organizing this. And so we've got to do some mass help to help get the word out. They are doing a Selma to Montgomery style march on next week in Texas. Y'all, if those people are coming from all parts of the country to Texas, they can't outdo Texas, okay? So we need Texas to be present. So you all mark your calendars as I get information. That's why it's very important for you to connect with our Facebook page and connect with one of those GroupMe chats groups. So as I get the information, I'm going to share it. So make sure you go in the chat and connect with one of those GroupMe groups. So when I get the information, I'll share that with you. Also, I dropped a link to the article that talks and gives more detail about it as well. That's in the chat as well. So click that link to that article so you'll have it and you can go back and read it. But they're going to start out in Georgetown, Texas. Now, Toria, I don't know if she's still on the call, but I know the Ku Klux Klan, now you all are in the larger cities. I don't know if you're connected with people back in East Texas, but it's some crazy stuff going on. And the Ku Klux Klan has planned a rally in the Longview, East Texas area, and they have also planned one in Georgetown and in other areas throughout the state. So they are going to start this Selma to Montgomery style march next week in Georgetown, Texas on the 27th. So as I get more details, I will share that information, but it is going to end in Austin at the state capitol on July the 30th. So just as y'all saw all of those pictures, I need everybody on the call right now to start taking off from work, whatever you need to do, get your carpool partner. There will be buses that are probably going, and those bus rides are free. We wore shirts with our partner, our Vote Our Voice. That's one of our partnering coalition groups that we're a part of. So we will do another order for those beautiful black shirts of our partners. So we will have those on next week. So we are going to be back in Austin again, and I hope you all will plan to join us there. You all have my phone number. I think everybody on the call does. If you don't have it, come in the chat so I can make sure to give it to you. But I need everybody to make plans and share the information, because we're trying to make sure to disseminate the information to everybody, help get the word out and let people know. You can grab the link to that article. You can post that article on your social media platforms so that people will be aware that this particular march is going to take place next week. Also, there's a march on Washington for voting rights. I typed something wrong there. I don't know what I did. March on for voting rights. I did correct. That is right. It's going to be in DC, and that's going to be led by Reverend Al Sharpton. That's going to be on August the 28th. That's going to be the 58th anniversary of the historic March on Washington, where Dr. King gave the I Have a Dream speech. So make plans for that. I will give you all more information, because there probably will be transportation provided for that. If you want to go, you want to fly, go ahead and secure your flights and rooms now, because I'm sure those prices are going to go up and rooms are going to be booked. So go ahead and make plans for that as well. And again, that's on August the 28th. As I mentioned, Our Vote, Our Voice, that's one of our partners. They are a nonpartisan Get Out the Vote coalition. They will be meeting next Tuesday on July the 27th. If you are connected with the Political Action Committee and you are in that GroupMe, I will share that information there and also on the Facebook page. But go in the chat and make sure you join the Political Action team on GroupMe, so you'll get that information for their meeting. That meeting is important because there are people from various counties throughout the area that are on there, and we share information, we share ideas, we support one another. So there is always more power in numbers. So we had 5 people from the DFW Metro NAACP that were on that call last week. I am grateful for each and every one of you, and I pray that you and more invite others. I serve as a logistics chair for that organization, so I need as many of my members as possible to be on that call. The legal redress team is going to meet on August the 10th at 7 p.m. That link and information has been left in the chat, in the newsletter. I am going to create a flyer, and I'll be dropping that information on the Facebook page as well. But if you comment in the chat, legal redress, I'll make sure to get the information to you, okay? I'll send you, matter of fact, direct message me your email address, and I'll make sure you're included in the email. I'm gonna take a breath right there, and if you have any questions or comments, if you'll do that, and then Ms. Leah, I'm gonna ask that you give an update for CAP after any questions or comments. Anybody have any questions or comments at this time?
All right, Crystal, I had a quick one prior to the slide. I was on mute, but I wanted somebody, Leah might know, Jackie, do they need help on Saturday and Sunday? Like they got to get the bags and stuff packed and put together?
Yeah, Jonas. So from what I understand, Jackie has set up a time, I think starting at noon on Saturday to start to get the room together. I think there's still some discussion about the backpacks though, because we don't want to fill them with items that people don't need. So I think there's discussion about, do we create like a shopping thing where you're able to pick up the items that you actually need so that we don't give people stuff they don't need. So I think from what I understand, those details are still being worked out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Leah. And we definitely need people to volunteer and make donations. So I would drop that flyer, the flyers in the chat. Grab the chat because there's a way for you to connect with them to get information to find out how you can volunteer and make donations. Leah, can you give us a update for CAP and announce the next meeting?
Okay, thank you, Minister Crystal. So CAP is Concerned Citizens and African American Parents. It's a community group that supports LISD. Our next meeting, as Crystal has stated, is Thursday, August 19th at 6:30. We do those meetings via Zoom. We support LISD, and I was reading through some of my notes on my phone as well. But just kind of our mission statement is to formulate a voice for African Americans by enhancing and ensuring excellence in education through partnerships with the community. So we address the primary concerns that we have regarding standardized testing, AP, overrepresentation in discipline disparity. We're concerned that about African American teacher hiring. Right now, I think we're up to about 5.6%, but the TEA standard is 11%. So we push for that. Our Vice President Johnny Foster actually formulated a plan called a Balanced Diversity Initiative. So every time we meet with them, we do talk about any progress that we're making towards hiring. We also are concerned that African American students are overly represented in assignment to special ed. So because of those concerns, we seek to partner with LISD. As far as any of our current updates, we were involved in a voice for the situation that happened in LISD with Downing Middle School, where a principal and teacher had decided that the yearbook cover should represent current events. And because of that, the teacher was suspended and an investigation was opened. We did find out that the teacher did leave Downing. From my understanding, she was not given a choice. She was given a choice either to resign or to be reassigned. She chose the option of being reassigned to Louisville High School, and is happy with making that reassignment, but of course was not happy about the events. We were happy that we were able to get lots of publicity around the event, but we were disappointed in how LISD handled that particular situation with giving her that final ultimatum. The other thing that we have been working on and just met with the assistant superintendent of schools regarding House Bill 3 and childhood literacy and the standards that they've set for African American students. We talked about those projections where we were meeting those standards and what they were doing in order to help bring our students up to speed. The big thing that they are looking for are community volunteers. So I know for CAP, we're looking to reinstate our mentoring program, and our Vice President of Education, Rhonda, is working on that initiative right now. We did, because we are a smaller group, we tried to do kind of bite-sized pieces. So we adopted 4 schools: Louisville Elementary, Rockbrook, DeLay Middle School, and LHS Harmon. DeLay Middle School as well as LHS Harmon have brand new African-American principals. They've only been there 1 year, and they really need our community support. You may have heard for DeLay, Sharday Dockery was able to get the store at her school, and she won a $40,000 grant through and was featured on the Drew Barrymore show. So she really kind of hit the ground running, but they really need our support because they're trying to make changes in the school to make things more equitable for all students, and they're getting some resistance to that. So those are the 4 schools that we try to support through mentoring and volunteering. And of course, our big push is to work with Westside for the back to school fair. I will send you, Crystal, a flyer. LISD is looking for senior ambassadors, and this is for senior citizens, anyone age 60 or older, and they're having a kickoff meeting so that they can try to bridge that gap and get seniors involved in the district. So I will send that to you, Crystal, or put it in the group me chat for education. And that's all
Awesome.
I have.
Thank you so much, Leah. We appreciate that update. Thank you, bunches. Also, and then your next meeting.
The 19th. And I think
Okay.
you have it on the flyer. Yeah.
Okay, great. Also, Candace, let me see, is Candace still on here? I shared a flyer in the chat for Texas Voter Suppression 101. That's going to be on Sunday, July the 25th from 3 to 5. I'll post the information on the Facebook page and in the political action chat as well. Candace just shared that information, but if you could grab the flyer in the chat, I just shared that as well. And you all forgive us for going over tonight, but we're wrapping up. This will be it. Please forgive me because y'all know we normally do not go over our meeting times. Okay, so I did do count. Okay, so our Black History Moment, email dfwmetro2020@gmail.com to be next, or absolutely reach out to me, take a picture, get your phone and take a picture. These are local food drives. Even if you don't need them, somebody else may take a picture of this and share it with someone else who may need it. The information also is in our DFW Metro newsletter of July and in June. And if you did not get your email and you know that you're signed up, check your spam folder. Check your spam folder. You have to go into your email and save DFW Metro as a contact in your email to prevent it from going to the spam folder. So DFW Metro 2020@gmail. If you have not opted in for the newsletters, go to our website. Again, it's just our domain. We're in the process of getting a website put in place, but right now there's only one basic page for you to opt in for communications, and that's at dfwmetro.naacp.org. If you know others that you want to invite to connect with us, share that, tell them to go to the website, dfwmetro.naacp.org, so they can opt in for our newsletter and communications. Thank you to our NAACP officers. What I tell you, I could not be, I am just super excited for the people that God has divinely placed in leadership and as members and as support of our organization. They are all doing an amazing job, and I'm super proud of each and every one of you. And also our leadership team, Paige, Judge Saunders, I appreciate you all as well. Drew and everybody that's with our communications team, I am super excited. And our members and our community. We could not do this without each and every one of you. So we are super excited. So you all get your phone out again and take a picture so you can connect with us in all of these places. Thank you. So it's 7:30. I went 15 minutes over. Please forgive me. Kendall, do our technical stuff to formally end our meeting for me. You gotta formally adjourn the meeting for us, Kendall.
Hold on just one second. I move that this meeting will be adjourned to the next scheduled meeting time.
Second that.
Thank you. Okay, so motion is moved. What do I say next, y'all?
It's been moved and second.
It's been moved and second. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you. We did it. So thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to start recording now. You all don't have to get off if anybody has any remaining questions